So it seems like every single thing that could possibly go wrong has gone wrong this week. This is way too much. Definitely breathing hard. It was supposed to be a week that we were gonna get ahead. If you've been watching our channel for a while, you know we've been planning to bring the pigs to butcher, set an appointment for it. Now we spent all day preparing for this, and I went and borrowed a truck and trailer, which was a little ways away. We went and got that. We got back here, and mind you, it was like 92 degrees outside. We're sweating like crazy, wrestling these pigs. After a couple hours, we finally got them loaded. By that time, it's probably 9 o'clock at night, and I drive about 45 minutes north of here, and I get there and all of the pens are full. So I had set this appointment very far in advance. Somebody made a mistake at some point. I don't know who. Mistakes happen, I get that. But with the day that we had leading up to that, we were pretty frustrated in the moment. So I had to drive the pigs all the way back here and unload them. The next day just made an appointment with a different butcher. So long story short, we still have the pigs, and we will until September 3rd is their next butcher date. It's just discouraging because that's more food that we have to buy. It's just more work that we didn't budget for. So in a month, it'll get done. It'll be over and done with. Maybe we'll look back and laugh at this, but it was definitely a frustrating day and the beginning to a frustrating week. The next day after that, our meat birds showed up. And this one was totally our fault. I knew it was coming last week of July. I think after just that whole day we had, we just totally forgot about anything else. And I go to work, I get a call from the post office and they say, hey, your chicks are here.
Alive and well.
So we had 50 Cornish cross chicks showing up. I went inside and I was like, Brianna, you're gonna have to run and pick those up at the post office. So she went and did that, and we got everything ready for them, and they're doing really well. But it was just one more thing that was just like, holy cow, it feels like we're totally falling behind here.
So we've had a heck of a time with the pigs, putting them on the trailer. That caused a lot of stress for them, and now they're sick.
So I'm waiting on a phone call from the vet. She said she can't get here until this afternoon. They're breathing real hard, so we're hoping we can get some medicine for them and have them up and going in no time, but it's definitely stressful.
I think they have pneumonia. The vet's coming out today.
And it's Indy's birthday party, so we got to try to arrange the vet around the party.
So it has been a stressful couple weeks, and it seems to be one thing after another.
Well, the vet just left, and the pigs are obviously feeling better because they're gone. I just went out there, their fence is down, and now I'm trying to find signs of them to see where they went to. Right through here, I just heard crackling in the leaves. You guys are out in the woods. It never ends. Come on, you guys, you gotta go back to your pen. Come with me. Come with me. Let's go, guys. Wrap it up right over here. So anytime we have a rough week like this, we kind of step back and say, what can we do to make things easier for ourselves? Specifically with chores. Can we make things more efficient? Can we eliminate chores if possible? And this kind of showed up at the perfect time because Premier One sent me this new feeder that they just came out with this year. They said if I liked it, then I could use it in a video, but they were very adamant that I give an honest review, which is really cool because I think it's very valuable to find honest brands and companies nowadays. And also, I'm really never gonna recommend something unless I've used it and really like it myself. So right off the bat, what I've seen, I've really liked, and I think I'm pretty sold on it because we come out here and we feed the chickens once or twice a day, just throwing scoops of feed to them. And this thing holds 85 pounds, which is more than 2 of the standard bags of chicken feed. So this should last us for weeks on one fill up without having to come out here and do that every day. So that right there pretty much eliminates an entire chore. I will say, regardless of all of the failure of this week, the garden has never looked this good. So check this out. We had super hot weather for a while, and then the last 24 hours has been a little bit of a cool down, and that temperature change has caused the tomatoes to start getting red, They're starting to ripen, and we're starting to come up with plans on how we're gonna use them all. Same for peppers. Check these guys out. They're getting red for us. Those are almost ready to pick. We're getting very close. If I prop this thing up, that's 7 foot tall. I'm 6'2", so that's a pretty good comparison. The zucchinis have been coming in pretty consistently. We're able to get 1 or 2 at a time, and usually at that time the other ones on there are too small to pick. But that's been about enough for us. Sometimes we'll fry them up with breakfast or dinner, but we've really been enjoying them. Another thing we've got going for us, we've gone all season without dealing with any moths or caterpillars on these cabbages. And I'm just starting to see signs of something getting in there and eating them up. So I'm gonna go through there tonight and probably spray some BT on there. Now BT is an organic pesticide, so let's stay calm. One thing I'm a little bit uncertain about is the butternut squash that we planted. Now the squash is taking up pretty much this whole trellis. Yeah, the cucumbers are in there too, but they're much smaller and the squash has overrun that whole thing. Now I see down here, there's one little squash growing, and over here, there's a super little squash growing. But I thought that much plant, I thought we would have a lot more of them, and I thought they would have started before now. I'm hoping they still have enough time to grow before fall kicks in. They do okay in colder weather, but we'll see how many we get. Check out all these little pumpkins, big pumpkins actually. This one over here is already starting to have a little hint of orange to it. These are all the cabbage and broccoli that we started from seed a couple videos ago, and they're looking really promising. I just remembered, I gotta show you something really cool. So this spot right here is where we had all of our pigs foraging all of the fall and spring, and last fall, we gave them all of the pumpkins that the kids had carved, and you can see now the pigs pooped out the seeds, and we have all these pumpkin plants growing all out in the middle of nowhere, which I thought was pretty cool. So it is moving day for the chickens. You can see this line in the grass right here. They've pretty much spent the grass on the inside. The reason we move them is we like them to have access to fresh grass. We don't want them to sit on their manure for too long. And the more bugs and things like that they eat, the more vitamins we end up getting through their eggs. That is why we move them. You know, you see a lot of people keeping their chickens in a coop all the time, maybe with a little run or a little bit of grass space, which is fine if you don't have a ton of land or if you don't have a yard or the space to let them free range a little bit, but you really do miss out on a lot of those vitamins that way. Now look at that line right there. So there's where the chickens were. Here's where they're going next. The cool thing about it is in the next couple weeks, this over here will turn into nice, lush green grass because of all the nitrogen in their manure. And then this will get all eaten up. All right, so I think my plan is to put the chickens right here. We've got the pigs over there. I'd like to move them to fresh grass too, and then I can piggyback both of them off the same energizer. That way everybody's fence is powered and nobody's escaping. We have the pigs right here, and I'm thinking of moving their fence, keeping that wall there, transferring them over to this area, and then I can piggyback the energizer right to here, so then we have both the chickens and the pigs running off the same energizer. Now what I usually do is distract these guys with food so I can move the fence. Luckily he seems to be following me, but he might wander off a little bit here. All right, so we got his fence all around here, and I connected it to the chicken fence right there. Now I gotta go get the other pig. I had to put him in another pen yesterday because he wouldn't go back in this one after he escaped. All right, easy as that. We got them both in there now. Oh, you guys are feeling better. I gotta give them their meds now too. I do have this antibiotic here that I gotta give to the pigs. The red one's laying down right now, so he's gonna be the easiest target. I'm gonna give it a shot here. Literally. Just medicine, guys. Sorry. Here she is. I'm gonna put her on the spot. How's work, babe? Good. Hey, I'm gonna put you on the spot. What was that thing you were telling me last night about the pigs and how they got sick from stress? Hold on, I'll give you the mic.
I was just saying how we're kind of like pigs because pigs under stress get sick, very sick, probably more than humans. But when humans are under chronic stress, we can exude a lot of symptoms, whether it's digestive, adrenal fatigue, we have a nervous system crash down, Our immune systems tank. So we're kind of like pigs. We're just animals. We also, running on stress levels, can become sick. So we brought on a lot of these things ourselves. We didn't exactly pick the easiest way of life, and we're fully aware that we don't have to farm, we don't have to have animals, raise our own meat or our own vegetables, but I think the most fulfilling thing we can do is that. And so despite all of the stress it brings on, and all of the late nights bringing pigs to the butcher and having it be a total fail, we have a lot to be grateful for. We're healthy, we are together, and despite all of the stress, this lifestyle is worth it in my opinion, and I wouldn't change it for anything. Cameron works full-time, I work part-time, and I homeschool the kids, and it can be a lot, especially when you come home from work, either or job, and there's toys all around the yard, there's tools everywhere because the kids are doing new projects. That is really stressful for me because I want to come home to a clean, orderly house, and that's just not the season that we're in. And I have learned to just be grateful to have a messy house, messy windows, kids running around, because I know that when I'm an old person, I will miss all of these days. Mindset is just super important, and instead of getting sucked into the negative, Cameron and I choose to remain positive and thankful for everything that we do have.